Oh, hi, audience. What's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue RiffCast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue RiffCast. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Greg Sestero. This is indeed the True Blue RiffCast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am joined, as always, by Dave. How's it going, Dave? Maybe? Oh, so perfect. Okay. So if you can't tell, we are trying out something different here. And that means that you get a look at all of the bugs. You get all the behind-the-scenes goof-ups and things that aren't working. And it looks like right now Dave is not working. Now, this does happen from time to time where he loses a connection or whatever, and he's got to come back, and that's what he's doing right now. It looks like he's resetting his connection. And, yeah. The song before that you heard, of course, is our theme song. We still use it for our end credits, but it used to be our intro, too, and that was Rock Till You Die by Songwriter X and the Skeleton Band. Make sure you go check them out. They're on YouTube, YouTube Music. You can find all their stuff up there. And they're probably elsewhere, like on Amazon and stuff like that. In fact, I think that's where I bought their song before, was through Amazon. But if you've never heard the podcast before, it's me and usually Dave Chadwick, my co-host, and we talk about all things RiffTrax. We talk about other movies as well, and we also talk about a few other things. Usually we talk about The Mandalorian in depth, just because we both really, really, really like that show. And special hello to the one and only Matthew J Elliot, who is here in chat with us. And see, this is one that he can join and not kill everything like what happened before at the beginning of the season. Now, today we are going to be talking about the much anticipated and finally here release of Baby Ghost, the one that we've been riding them pretty hard to do for the last couple years, and especially since Connor and Sean informed us that they were trying to get it done. And so I personally have been harassing them every chance I got, and any special live broadcast that they did or anything like that. It's an honor to have you here, sir, Matthew J. Elliott. Now, some of this might sound a little weird when it gets published later today. This is going to go up within a few hours, simply because I'm going to still be streaming afterward. So I'm obviously not going to be able to do it then. But I'm probably not going to edit this out. The whole point to doing this live is that this is how it's going to be. This is going to be the podcast, and then it's going to go up. That way we don't have to wait for me to be have enough free time to edit. That way I can just take the audio, post it, and we're good to go. And I'm literally just going to copy it from the stream, simply because we're not using the right Dave just sent me a message, and he's like, I lost you at the worst possible time. My entire internet just died right as the show started. Oh, Dave. Dave doesn't appear to always have the best internet service. Anybody who is... Yes. You have had Dave at hello and promptly lost him again. Yes, anybody who's been on the show can probably attest to the fact that Dave's had some internet issues in the past while we were recording, but So we're just going to. I'm gonna do what I had planned to do at the beginning here. Yesterday, for those of you who normally follow me here on Twitch, where we're broadcasting from, I was trying to purchase, because I have a sickness. I was trying to purchase. I would have no need to screw with this, Dave. Matthew J Elliot, folks, is just tearing up the chat, and it's amazing. I love it. Yesterday, I was trying to purchase the Flamin' Hot flavor of Mountain Dew, the new novelty flavor that they released. It went live around this time yesterday, and I was live trying to buy it because I knew it was going to be a hassle. And, of course, it was. The website crashed, and you couldn't get through to fill out your billing information or your shipping information or your payment information. And it was like it was going through molasses. It was terrible. It was so slow. It finally started loading. Like, it took 5 minutes for one part to load up. I got my information filled in. I got all the way to entering my payment information and hitting the button for processing the payment. It loaded up saying that it was processing, and it sat there for about 20 minutes. The little indicator was still spinning around on the bottom of the screen, so I knew it was actually trying to do something. And then I loaded up their Twitter account, and they're like, "Hey, it's sold out. Sorry if you had problems with the website." It was literally, I was trying to buy it for over an hour, and everybody else was having issues. Everybody on the Twitter account, the replies were just talking about how bad it was, how they couldn't get to anything, and then it sells out. And then immediately it's up on eBay for $100 for a 4-pack. That was $12 through Mountain Dew. And, y'all, I have never rage quit anything on Twitch before, and I rage quit yesterday. Like, I was like, that's it, I'm done. It's over. I've sat here for an hour, and this just happened, and I was so mad. I was so angry over stupid, a terrible flavor of Mountain Dew that I was going to hate when I tried it. But I really wanted to try it because I have a sickness. Anybody who's seen anything that I've posted knows that I love to try the gross and weird, unusual flavors. Well, Matthew, can't get Mountain Dew at all in the UK, I think, but with Brexit happening, you can barely get salt or flour. Yeah, I don't envy that. I mean, we can at least still get, basic necessities here, basic pantry staples. Of course, we've got our own problems over here, and we're not going to get into. I rage quit season 1 of Gotham after Will Smith's wife gouged her own. Oh, what? Oh, that's a thing that happened? I never got around to watching that show, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't. And, yeah, Matthew, Dave is attempting to re-enter our little voice. That's disgusting, Matthew. Like, I can't believe that's a thing. Late in season 1. Oh, yeah, that's... I rage quit... I didn't rage quit, but I decided I wasn't going to watch anymore with Star Trek Picard after season 2, or episode 2, rather, because they started dropping F-bombs, and for me, that's not Star Trek. You don't need that in Star Trek. It really took me right out of what I was watching, and I just decided I don't need that in my Star Trek, so I turned it off. I watched the first couple episodes of Discovery, and they did swear in that also. Yeah, Picard is a struggle to watch. I feel bad because I love The Next Generation. Love it. And, I mean, I like Deep Space Nine and, all that stuff. Voyager was okay. It had a good, insane captain, and I loved it. Speaking of struggles, Matthew. But yeah, as soon as Dave rejoins us, we're going to be discussing Baby Ghost and RiffTrax Live Hobgoblins. We had she's joining the Doctor Who universe. Nice. That should be interesting. I keep getting distracted by Matthew's chats. We had a live show for the first time in 2 years. And, oh my gosh, it felt so good to be back in the theaters watching RiffTrax. And, should be tearing. Oh, a Torchwood Audio spinoff. Nice. And of course, we'll be talking about the short from beforehand, Life in a Medieval Town, which had a very interesting callback to one of the best RiffTrax releases of this year so far. And I'm going to... We're just going to keep things going here, because it doesn't make sense not to. It's a little weird doing it one-sided, but it is what it is. We're going to talk about the box office results from this past weekend. Now, real quick, a note about the show here. We are going to be doing live shows every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, simply because that is basically the only day of the week where I will be home at that point in time from work, regardless of my schedule. Everything else, if I close, I work until 10. So, but Sundays we close a little earlier. So, with my full-time schedule at my new job, it's made things a little more difficult. And of course, my dog barking isn't. Sorry, the mailman's here. Just give me just a second. Yes, Matthew, you had the opportunity to see. If Dave shows up, I might just rage quit. Put the mailman on. I want to hear his opinion. The only opinions you'd be hearing right now is that of my dogs, who hate the mailman. You know, he's not always my best friend either because he brings me bills and stuff. But let's just jump into the box office results for last weekend, because things are happening again. You can actually go see movies. In fact, I'm planning this Friday to go see Shang-Chi in theaters, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I've heard some really good things about it. But our box office results from this past weekend, Candyman, the sequel to the original. It's not a remake. It's a sequel. They're following the trend of naming a sequel to a movie that came out 30 years ago, just with the same title, or adding a "the" in front of it, and it being a sequel to the original movie. And usually they disregard the other sequels that came out closer to the time that the original came out. It's weird. It's a weird trend, but it's interesting. It's okay, Dave. We understand. We understand you're trying to get back in. But Candyman number one, $22 million, which is still low, you know, but it's trending in the right direction. Free Guy coming in number two with $13 million, which is another movie that I'd like to go see. Paw Patrol the movie taking in over $6 million, which is interesting because you can watch it at home, no additional charge outside of the membership fee on Paramount Plus. So, I mean, it still took in over $6 million in the theater, so that's pretty good. Jungle Cruise coming in at number 4, and Don't Breathe 2. I don't even know what Don't Breathe is. Is that like the Asylum knockoff to A Quiet Place? Don't Breathe? I don't know. Sequel set in the years following the initial deadly home invasion, where Norman Nordstrom lives in quiet solace until his past sins catch up to him. I have no idea. I've never heard of that before. Free Guy is fun and way better than... Yes, I've heard that it's way better than Ready Player One, and that's part of the reason why I want to see it, because I hate Ready Player One so much. I I spent decades pronouncing Shang-Chi wrong. I did too. I thought it was Shang-Chi. And then the trailer came out and he's like, Shang. And I'm like, oh, okay. I feel like they put that scene in the movie specifically so people could start saying the name of the character properly. I'm so damn old. I remember when he was the son of Fu Manchu in the comics. Yeah. Yeah, he's I mean, you're not that much older than I am, Matthew. I think we're relatively close to the same age. Don't mind me, I'm just dropping stuff over here. That was during the Yeah. Could be. I don't know. I'm slightly familiar with the character of Shang-Chi. I'm not like an expert in anything that has to do with that character. I just know that he is the master of martial arts. He's the best hand-to-hand fighter in the comics, and he trained a lot of the heroes how to fight, including Spider-Man, and helped him develop Spider-Fu. That's all I really know about him. I know he kicks ass, and he trains the other heroes. This is why we're doing this as a test run today. Just to work out the bugs and the kinks like this before we start our regular weekly shows. And you know what? I'm gonna give you guys homework. The people watching this live stream or listening after the fact, I'm gonna give you homework. We are going to we're going to interact, obviously, with the chat like I've been doing right now. Not just when Dave's gone, but overall, we're going to be interacting with the chat. So we're going to give you guys some homework, a riff to watch, so that you'll be more familiar with it while we're discussing it on the next show. We're probably not going to have that for this Sunday's episode, simply because Dave and I haven't been able to talk about it. But Dave's got an idea. Let's see. It's an odd literary crossover, him being the son of the famous villain created by Six. Don't lick the wires, Dave. Yes, I agree. I agree with Matthew J Elliot. Don't lick the wires. That's not going to help anything. I think we're probably at this point going to be done with Zencastr overall. Not just because of the issues that we've had in the past with it, but I don't think we need. I don't think we need to be able to record it through that. We don't need it. It's not going to be a necessity anymore because we're going to be doing it this way, and we'll obviously get the audio through the live feed. I don't know what his. Don't know what his idea is here, but maybe he wants to try a different audio source. I'm going to mute this for a second because I'm going to try doing a voice call. Yes, I can. That's fine. It sounds fine. It sounded fine. Hello, are you there? Oh, no. Sorry, you're hearing a one-sided conversation with Mr. Chadwick here. Dave. Oh. Hang on. I'm going to try this one more time. I got disconnected on my end. Hey, what's up, Hero Squad? Thanks for joining. Hello, Mr. Chadwick. Mr. Dave Chadwick, can you hear me? What? Oh, what? Ah. The suspense is unbearable. Oh, I think he's calling me back. Accept? Let's see. Hello, Mr. Chadwick.
Yes.
Hey, there you are. We can all hear
right.
you now.
Okay, cool. So, here's what I have to do. For some reason, right as we went live, not just my Wi-Fi, but my entire service just crapped the bed. So, I don't know what's going on. So now we're just talking on my phone.
Okay. Well, it works.
So, the quality might not be that great.
It's not terrible, to be honest. It's pretty good.
Okay. All right.
Welcome.
I basically just have
show.
to go outside. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here for the True Blue RiffCast. Now, when I last caught up with the show, you were talking about the box office, and
Matthew says, "Why do they have to introduce new characters to a beloved show this way? This is the final season of Silk Stockings all over again."
that's funny. Oh my goodness! So I'm basically now I'm outside. This is awesome. This is going to be the first scenic route version of the True Blue RiffCast. So yeah. So I'm so sorry. I can't tell you how sorry I am about that. So
I mean,
we're just gonna have to wait for my service to. Yeah, it's the no, but it was so crazy because it happened literally I was listening to Rock Till You Die, and then everything just gone. So, and me and Jeremy were talking for an hour, with no problems.
If you could Pokemon Go at the same time, Dave, that would be an awesome cross promotion. Says
if I could Pokemon Go at the same. Do people still Pokemon Go? Is that still a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still going strong.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy to me. But because that happened way back when I was 35, and now I'm 40. So.
Well, you got to do that to me.
Well, hey, just take comfort in the fact that you're older.
That's Dave's favorite pastime is reminding me how old I am.
Really? Is that the one, or is it me reminding you that I've been to RiffTrax Live in Nashville and you haven't? Which one is it?
Both. It's definitely both.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. We'll talk about RiffTrax Live in a minute, but I'm not sure. See, I'm 20 minutes late to the show, so I have no idea where we are. And I don't have the list in front of me anymore, so I'm just kind of flying blind. It's like I'm talking to my pal on the phone.
Except it's being broadcast to Matthew J Elliot and a few others.
Yeah, nice. Hey, Matthew, you're the best. Love you, bro.
Matthew says Hillary Clinton still Pokemon Goes.
I believe it. There's a pantsuit joke there. Pantsuit, what's a Pokemon that you could that have a pantsuit evolution? I don't know. I don't do Pokemon. Isn't that what Hillary Clinton knows for? Is pantsuits?
Yeah, the power pantsuits or whatever.
Power pantsuits. Yeah, there's Snorlax pantsuit. I don't know. I'm sure we could brainstorm it if we weren't live on Twitch.
Oh man. So this is, as I was saying, this is why we were doing this as a test run, just to see.
Yeah. So yeah. There's no welcome back from the edits, everybody, on this one. This is all the show.
We'll do it live.
This is 100% prime content right here.
Oh man. So yeah, one of the other things that we like to talk about here is the disastrous Pokemon Go to the polls joke. Yeah. Yes, Matthew, I agree. We like to check in and see what James Wen is doing.
Oh no.
And guys, you need to go.
James Wen tweets. This is fantastic. this latest James Wen tweet. Like, we started this, it just seems like we don't ever prepare to do it. I always just kind of like check his Twitter feed before the show starts, and it suddenly becomes like a whole department.
Yes, it's one of our features now.
Yeah. So this week's James Wen tweet.
We actually have a few to cover because the last time that we actually got our podcast up, there's been quite a few things since then that we actually covered in the last recorded episode that still hasn't made its way to the internet for all you to hear. But one of the things that he tweeted was about Patsy Van Ettinger, who played Natalie's mom in Birdemic, passed away on July 25th. That was the last time. That was the last time we. That might have been the last one that got posted. He's got a picture of him with Tippi Hedren, and then there's the guy who's playing the CEO in the movie. Apparently, with his James Bond's 007 Aston Martin car, which plays into this latest tweet from James. It's a link to a YouTube video, and I'm going to play it, and you'll probably be able to hear it. I'm going to mute this part because it's literally just him driving slowly for the first couple minutes of this. It feels like a couple minutes. The whole thing's only 2.5 minutes, but all of his characters in his movies drive super slow, and I think that's just how he drives in real life, because all of the footage from this, it's like 40 seconds of him driving, and it feels like it's an hour because it's so slow.
It's all as they say in Hangar 18, Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter. Birdemic Cam. I wonder if they got that sequel funded. Well, they didn't get it funded, but they made it anyway.
Yes. Matthew says the online campaign to get James Wan to direct the next Bond movie begins here. Because
is he done driving yet?
No. Well, yes, I paused it. He's the license plate on this car says 007 space M. So
yeah, I don't. What's the deal with that?
I don't know, but let's hear what James has to say about Birdemic 3.
This guy has to say,
along with the Brontosaurus of a man. Yes, I stole your joke. The Brontosaurus of a man.
That is my joke.
Who's the main character in this? He's the Rod of this movie, and this boy is tall. But let's
and he's got a long neck.
Yeah, let's hear what James has to say as he takes forever to get out of the car here. Hi, James.
Expecting the other James?
I can't hear him, but I already know what he says.
Probably know me, James, the guy who created Birdemic, and I'm just want to update you on the status of the Birdemic 3 production.
I'm pausing him because he is super quiet, and I have to crank it all the way up.
I was about to say, on my end, I can't hear him, but I already know what he says, so I can't react to him. And sometimes I think I lost the connection. But yeah, go ahead and continue.
All right.
And things are going great. We're filming in Santa Cruz and to be at San Juan Bautista, and things are going well. Even more, we have a great cast. Starring with Ryan Lord. Come on, Ryan. Who plays Evan, a scientist who study aging, a gerontologist, and Ryan's doing a great job.
Hey guys.
Okay, great. And it's gonna be a big star, coming. So very happy to have him in Birdemic 3. Okay, and also. We have beautiful talent.
I love the people yelling
Julia
on the
Colbert,
golf course
behind
him here.
She is beautiful and talented, and she plays Kim as a marine biologist. So I'm excited. We're going to release Birdemic 3 in early 2022. We'll have the premiere in Hollywood and do the Birdemic World Tour, Birdemic 3 World Tour. I'm excited and ecstatic, and happy Birdemic.
Happy Birdemic. Yeah,
James,
thanks, James.
I still hate you. I still hate you. I know you've probably completely forgotten about me, but I still hate you. Seeing that video, like like I thought I was over it, but then like whenever I see your face, I was like, yeah, nope, not at all.
Matthew J Elliot, they won't so much release it as allow it to escape. This is why I like having a professional comedic writer in here. He is just killing it today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, about that, there's a little story about Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter. I included Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter as cameos in Storybook Volume 3 4 years ago. I'm not gonna like put words in their mouths without say. So I sent it to both Matthew and Ian and be like, hey guys, I'm gonna do this. Hopefully, I don't want to put words in your mouth without you knowing what I'm going to have you say. So here, if you got a problem with it, let me know. And Ian wrote me back almost immediately with like a joke that was 10 times better. And that was like one of like 2 lines that I didn't write that made it into a storybook. And it was like, I was just like, he's writing better jokes for me. And it was just like, I was like, bleh. It was really cool. So thanks, Ian, for that. Thanks,
Matthew,
Ian, for improving my material.
Matthew still wants to hear your dead-on impersonation of him.
Of who? Oh, that's never. No, that doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
Yeah, I could do it, but it'd end up more like an Australian accent because anytime. Yep. So I'm not gonna do it.
You would be like that'd be great. That'd be Jeremy Pluta impersonating Dave Chadwick impersonating Matthew J. Elliot. That's what our patrons pay for.
Yeah, except we stopped that. Just so everybody knows, we did suspend the Patreon just because it's not. I don't feel like we're giving everybody their money's worth right now. Hopefully with doing this live and us both being reinvigorated on the podcast and doing it more on a regular basis again.
Yeah. Well, we both have new schedules now, so.
Yes, and so us being able to do this every Sunday night, I think is gonna help that, and maybe Oz riffs are the way to go instead of Brit riffs. I don't know. I don't know who they would get, and there'd be an awful lot of censoring needed, I think.
Yep. It'd be like a whole lot of baby ate your dingo jokes. Or no, wait, that's wrong. The dingo ate your baby. That's the joke.
I don't know. I like baby ate your dingo.
The baby ate your dingo jokes.
Might be the baby ate your dingo.
So anyway, James Wayne.
No, it's not Sunday night right now, Matthew. We're going to be doing them every Sunday night after this point.
Yes.
Man.
Right now is a boycott day of Twitch that we didn't know about, but
yeah,
the show must go on.
We kind of planned this on the wrong day. Oh man,
and Dave's internet just craps the bed. Happy True Blue RiffCast.
Hey, it's not
thumbs up right now.
I just did a thumbs up too, right at the camera. It's not the True Blue RiffCast if we don't have problems while we're recording it. I mean that's kind of par for the course here. But yeah, how about we actually talk about RiffTrax?
Well, were we going to talk about James or I mean, like, I think we already covered it.
I think we covered enough about James.
Yeah, that like just long car driving. He thinks he's James Bond for some reason. Were you expecting the other James? No.
Yeah.
But Birdemic 3 is going to be a colossal train wreck, and I can't wait to see it blow up in his face and see that nobody cares. But anyway, RiffTrax.
See that nobody cares. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about RiffTrax Live.
Woo!
And to start that off, hang on.
Yeah,
To start that off, we're going to be bringing back another one of our departments here. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, shorts. It's the short reviews of RiffTrax shorts. Back once again to start off our discussion about RiffTrax Live Hobgoblins, which started out with a wonderful little short from Coronet Instructional Films, Life in a Medieval Town. And it's about a young serf who goes from the Lord's castle into the town nearby to trade a cow for some shoes, basically. He takes a cow, he's got to sell the cow, take the money, and buy the shoes for his lord, and he's supposed to meet the seneschal there. And seneschal is probably the best. I'm going to call this a call forward instead of a call back, because they mentioned seneschal in the Gumby movie riff, and immediately followed up the joke with, that will only make sense after you've watched this year's live shows. So they were setting up a joke for the live show, for the short in the RiffTrax Live Hobgoblins, for the seneschal. Now, all this is really, it's a guy with like a green scarf draped around his head.
Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know. I've never had heard the word seneschal before Gumby, and I didn't bother looking it up because I was so in shock from just the Gumby stuff.
Yeah,
and how weird it was.
Is pretty weird. Yeah.
You know, hey, we have Matthew J Elliot in the chat. Matthew J Elliot, I'm sure you actually probably know what a seneschal is, because you are such a font of information. And yes, the cow could have turned into shoes. He could have turned the cow into shoes with the leather. Yes, Matthew, you are correct on that.
Wow.
But the whole point was, he had to get the shoes made by the journeyman shoemaker, while his serf meets the actual shoemaker's apprentice in the town square, the head of a medieval house, I think. Sure, yeah. There you go. Seneschal, head of the medieval house.
Oh, so he's like.
Why did he wear a scarf on his head? Is that
I don't know.
Accurate,
maybe he was like, maybe they got it confused with the Grand Vizier, but I don't know.
But this was actually probably the most normal short from Cornet, if that's possible.
I guess. Well, I mean, okay. Look, here's the thing about the. Okay, so it's a Cornet short. We kind of know what to expect, but there were times in the short where there were no jokes, and there was no just like, it was just like the sound on in the short itself, where they were just like passing time. The sound just goes completely out. There's like
there's no music.
There's like no talking, and just like it just falls like down an audio cliff. It's just like, what? That's like, huh? And it was really disconcerting. Like, oh, sorry, there's a dog right there. See, yes, True Blue RiffCast. There's a dog.
And it's not my dogs, which are always the ones.
Yeah, no, it's not even my dog. It's a dog on this country road I live on.
While using your phone because your internet connection in your house died.
I live in the boonies, man.
Welcome to the True Blue RiffCast, folks. If you've never joined us before, this is what it's all about. Yeah, but it was a very good short. They always like to release their shorts from the live shows separately, and I think this would be a good one to buy. I mean, it was entertaining. It was very entertaining, very unexpected, and I loved it. Matthew says maybe the dogs have very strong opinions on Joe Estevez. Well, maybe we can ask him in a little bit when we get to
here in about
Baby Ghost.
20 minutes. Yeah.
But first, guys, we have to talk about the rest of RiffTrax Live, Hobgoblins, and that means
we are going to talk about the movie Hobgoblins.
Diving headfirst into the full uncut version of Hobgoblins.
Okay, so that's the first thing I think we should talk about is how this is the uncut version. Now, my movie theater likes to, like every 3 or 4 live shows, my theater likes to completely botch the production. We didn't get into the stream until about halfway through the short. I was like, oh, here it is, thanks. And they don't offer us refunds or anything. It's like, no, screw you, we're incompetent, we don't care. But it's like, RiffTrax, what's that? Is that like something? I don't know. Screw you. You paid $15 to be here. Shut up. Pay $5 for a large Coke. So when we get into the movie, I think it's almost immediately you realize that this is the uncut version. Now, in the past, I have been on record as saying that Hobgoblins is far from the worst movie ever made. I'm not saying it's good, but I always used to think that it was just like, a fun romp. I never realized, and I really hope that Rick Sloan never hears this. I never realized really how bad the movie is.
There's so much where nothing is going on in this movie. It's literally just a character standing around, or the extended cut of the rake fight or shovel fight.
So the MST3K version, the edited version, makes the movie better.
Yes,
it makes it infinitely better. If you go and you try to watch this movie from front to back, like we did at RiffTrax Live, you're going to realize just how crummy the movie actually is. Because all my memories of Hobgoblins is like, the Hobgoblin song and all the great funny riffs. Frankie Sniffles, Bounce Bounce and the Claw, all that. And be like, and that enhances the movie, which is what a good riff does. But if the movie, MST3K took out some parts, like the parts with the boss, McCready's boss, the movie executive, in his office with like a single lamp and knotty pine on the wall, knotty pine walls,
crappy
knotty
wood
pine.
paneled walls.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? And I was just like, I was aghast. I was just like, oh my gosh, this movie is really bad.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a slog in some places.
It's a slog. It is a slog. But yeah, I mean, that's the first thing I immediately noticed was that just how genuinely the MST3K version, that's fun, it's lively, like the uncut version, nope.
Yeah, it feels like a different movie. And normally, with the MST3K stuff, some of it's cut because nudity or whatever, like Space Mutiny. This was literally edited just to save everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Let's just cut out these 5 minutes of this character just standing there looking back and forth and not doing anything else.
So, that's I think that's the first thing that you immediately notice is that the quality of the movie is even worse than you think.
This plays into an argument against. There's this guy online that every time they release a movie through RiffTrax, he complains about whatever was cut out.
Okay, so
even
that guy.
Even if it's like the one scene in Jack Frost in the shower that they thankfully, they edited that out. Well, this guy complains about stuff like that. This is the case for editing some stuff out of the movies, because I think, like you said, the MST version of the movie itself is better because of what's not there.
Yeah.
And if they did B-Girls on MST, it would have been 20 minutes long. Yes, Matthew J. Elliott, you are 100% correct on that.
I can't see the chat. What did he say?
He said if they did B-Girls on MST, it would have been only 20 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, God, yeah.
If you want to hear more in-depth discussion about that, go back and listen to British Invasion, the episode British Invasion from a few months ago.
Yes,
and
we
you can hear in-depth about these movies.
Yeah. But, so let's talk about, I mean, should we talk about the plot itself, or, I mean...
Well, yeah, it's... Okay, so the old guy, there's an old guy who works at a movie studio, a defunct movie studio, which why the head of the studio is still working there, because he doesn't believe the old security guard about these hobgoblins. And so why is he there? The studio doesn't do anything, so he shouldn't be there. It should just be the old guy protecting it at night. But did they have a day watchman? Did they have a night watchman? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm thinking too much about logic when it comes to this movie. And
also, why would you even need a night watchman? No one's trying to break in there.
Right. And the only time that someone does break in there, it's I don't know. I don't think it was him, because the other guy, the first security guard, the kid that they hire to replace the old man, finds the vault where they have the hobgoblins locked away. And he goes in. I think that a hobgoblin might have gotten out then. And that's why we get the other guy breaking in, because he comes back later because of the hobgoblins. Anyway, they're these little furry creatures that literally look like a mix between Mogwai and Gremlin. Like they mushed them together into this one weird looking furry and scaly creature. And they came from space, and they can
like
create
enter your mind
things.
And,
they can enter your mind, and they can make things reality. They're very powerful beings in this aspect, and they get out due to security guard incompetence, and they wreak havoc on this group of friends.
Friends.
They're acquaintances. They're all idiots. They all don't really like each other. But they hang out for some reason. This movie,
they all rent this house together.
Yes, and they're all extremely horny, like, except for the main character's girlfriend, who's like this very uptight, prim, until the other girl's boyfriend comes back from basic training, and then she's basically fawning over him too. And
maybe he could learn a thing or two from this guy. Me and my blue dress and Marge Simpson pearls. You could learn something from him. He's protecting our country.
Yeah.
Should we get into that?
Well, they have a rake fight out in the front yard that takes 15 minutes.
Okay, so this movie was released in 1988. Okay. I went to I served in the United States Army for a while. Some of you guys know that about me. I went to basic training in the year 1998, so 10 years. They never taught us how to fight with rakes.
You didn't do bow staff training in your hand-to-hand combat?
No, so it'd be like, and even if we did, like, that guy clearly didn't go through the training, because he has one move, and that's hit the rake with the other rake.
Well, and then kind of spin and hit the guy in the side with his hand holding the rake.
Yeah. So I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go fight the Taliban with rakes? That's not gonna work anymore.
That never would have worked.
Little real world humor there for you. Oh,
yeah.
God.
So the hobgoblins, they're attracted to light, so of course they go straight to the guy's house because they're having a party with flashing lights.
They're the only house in all of Los Angeles having a party.
We've got the nerdy kid who is extremely horny, and he calls what is it, 9? What's the number? 976.
976 numbers. Yeah, these 976 numbers.
Scum or something.
Yeah, we're just So okay. So put a pin in. This is kind of a coincidence because later on we'll be talking about Baby Ghost, and there's a similarity between what happens in this movie and what happens in Baby Ghost. So just remember that there's a 976-900 number where you call a woman. Just remember that for Baby Ghost. These
used to be a thing, guys. Way back when, they were lines where you could call and have adult conversations with women on the other line.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. Again, it was me in the Army. I was 19. It was the year 2000, and not proud of it, but I can look back on it 21 years later and laugh about it. I was like, I'm gonna call one of these numbers and see what it is. And what it is, it's like you think that you I got the impression based on all this information that I had grown up with about these numbers was that you would be able to talk to the young lady on the other end. No, it's just a woman making breathy, horny words and sounds. And and you're not the only one on the call. There are other dudes there with you, and I was just like, "Hello, hello," and another woman got onto the line and said, "Don't talk to the girls."
What?
So I hung up, and I got the bill, and I was like, "Well, that was because I was only in there for 30 seconds," and I was just like, "Oh well, that was the worst $5 I ever spent," So learn.
Yeah, thanks for shattering that dream there for what it was.
No. You think you're going to be you think you're going to be making horny talk to a woman, and no, not that at all. You're just there with a bunch of other sweaty guys who are doing what they're all doing, and then you realize that you're all kind of doing it together, and then and
that's disturbing.
Yeah, it is very disturbing. That's why that's not a thing anymore. But now we have the internet and pornography instantly, so those are all out of business.
Oh man. Yeah, so that's Dorky Kyle, and Matthew J Elliot just said it. That's how Dave and I met.
Oh no.
Oh, that's great. But he keeps calling this line from his friend's house, and his friend's like, "Yeah, we keep getting these charges for these numbers on our phone bill, and I have to keep calling the phone company and disputing them."
They're like your friend's making the call, moron.
Yeah. So there's let's see, the Army dude was Nick, and they have their big, long, protracted, repetitive rake fight.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then the next night is when the burglar shows up at the film studio, and Kevin finds the vault and opens it up, and the little alien demon, not quite gremlins,
puppets, yeah.
They escape. They take off in the golfing cart that the guy drives around. A couple of them are sitting there holding hands, which is nice.
Run up and catch you, you bastard.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Donald Trump rides around in one of those. You could catch him.
The Hobgoblins escape, like we said. They go and they torture the friends. They turn the girlfriend, the little prude, Amy, and she goes to Club Scum.
Oh, God.
And she goes up there to be a burlesque dancer.
It is the worst club, by the way. Can I just point out that Club Scum? It'd be like, okay,
oh, yeah.
You guys can't come into our house. Like, oh, we're all underage. Oh, well, then you all need to leave. Not only is it illegal for us to serve you, you're taking up valuable space for paying customers. So
no, they provide them they provide them with the fake IDs.
No,
like how many IDs do you need?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
terrible.
I know that, but what I'm saying is like that's not reality.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, maybe in the 80s, at some actual skeezy club hidden, somewhere downtown, you might have been able to do that. But
I'm contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yes, Matthew J Elliot's bringing up a good point in the chat, which is something that I wanted to mention about how the MC at Club Scum has a crazy number of credits on IMDb, and this is very true.
There's a RiffTrax connection here, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not,
there's not just a RiffTrax connection. I mean, he's done a lot of very popular voice roles in cartoons, but he is the computer in Star Games.
Yes,
the clown, Happy the Clown, or whatever.
He is the clown hologram man in Star Games. He is about the 45th most craziest thing in that whole movie.
Yeah. But he's done a lot of voice work in the cartoon The Spectacular Spider-Man, one of the best Spider-Man cartoons. He was the voice of J. Jonah Jameson in that. He did a bunch of voices in some Transformers cartoons, Scooby-Doo cartoons. He was Batman in the 2010 DC Super Friends. But most people would recognize him as Cosmo from the Fairly Odd Parents, one of the two main fairy godparents in that cartoon. That's probably his most prominent role that he did. And I thought that was very interesting to see that he did that voice. Because I've heard that voice a lot because my kids watch the crap out of that show.
I don't have kids, and I was aged out of Nickelodeon by the time that cartoon came on. But hey, great for him,
Yeah. So in this, I'm just going through his voice work in Western animation. He's done a bunch of anime stuff. He did a bunch of movies, anime movies, video game voices. He's Matthew J. Elliot is right. He has an extremely large list of credits. So at least one person from this movie went on to have a pretty good career, which is surprising.
Okay, so there is something else about Club Scum or the scene at Club Scum that kind of stood out to me, and I never noticed it before, and I don't know why I never noticed it before, but it's like a glaring contradiction, and the explanation is obvious. It's just the actress is a real person who's not really her character, but what's her name, Susan, the girlfriend who really wants to go and just shake her booty on stage.
That's Amy.
It's like Amy. Okay, yeah.
Uptight Amy.
So Amy, she's very, very, very. I don't know if churchy is the right word, but that's the word we would use here in Utah. Very churchy, very prim and proper. But she gets up there, and she has. There's no nice way to say this. She has a tattoo right there on her boob. And you gotta wonder, what is this prim and proper young lady doing with a tattoo on her boobie?
I will go with
because
it was a temporary tattoo that she.
It was a temporary tattoo.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Temporary tattoo.
But just
she wanted to look more sexy.
She wanted to look more sexy for her boyfriend she's not having sex with.
Yeah. I mean, just when she got up on stage.
Was that ever addressed? Oh. So it's not fresh ink. It's because she didn't go out when she was infected by the Hobgoblin and get tatted up like that night. She just stopped by a gas station and got a couple of those spongy dinosaurs too, and they had stickers in them that had the
little capsule
she got them in those. Yeah, the little plastic egg. Yeah, she got a couple of those.
There you go. That's all the explanation we need for that. Anyway, they have a fight scene in the club, a battle against the Hobgoblins, where the Hobgoblins get into the army guy Nick's head, and he brings him like a bunch of grenades and stuff, and tells him he has to fight off these intruders. And so he just starts.
Okay, so is that guy? Is the sergeant? Is he an illusion?
I'm pretty sure he was created by the Hobgoblins, because then his whole thing is he wants to get Daphne to service the servicemen, if you will. And
God.
I mean he pretty much says it. You're gonna join this and the USO, and you're gonna do this.
Be a morale officer, because that's something that happens.
So Nick starts throwing hand grenades all over, and the effects here are not great, because he throws a grenade over, and then 20 feet over to the left it explodes, stuff like that. Nick ends up getting blown up by his commanding officer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get blown up. Is Nick also underage? If so, how did he get in the army? Well, I don't know that they're all.
Okay.
They're not all underage. I think they're adults, but they're all under 21.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing also about that. I actually joined the Army Reserves, I should say, when I was 17, and I had to basically talk my parents into letting me do that. And I went to basic training in between my junior and senior years of high school. And after I graduated high school, I went to advanced individual training, which is the second half of basic training, where you go and you learn your specific job in the military. So you can join the Army when you're underage. And when I was 18 and after I completed my job training, I actually went full time. And so you can, but it's I'm not sure if you can still join the full-time Army when you're 17. You used to be able to. I'm not sure what the regs are that are like now. AR 601-210 has probably been changed since the last time I joined the Army 23 years
probably.
ago.
But yes, the legal drinking age in the States, Matthew, is 21. And 21. Now in a lot of states, that's also the legal smoking age, which is interesting. But you can still join the Army at 18 and,
Yeah. And get arrested for underage drinking while you're serving in the Army.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from the military.
Yeah.
They defeat all the Hobgoblins, or they think they defeat all the Hobgoblins. They go back to the studio to tell the old man, and then the Hobgoblins show back up. They run back into the vault after the old man shoots the Hobgoblin who's controlling the burglar who showed back up again. And then Mr. McCready, we're going back into the military here again. He asks if he ever told, he's like, did I ever tell you what I did in the Army? He's like, no. He's like, munitions. And then he pulls out a remote detonator and blows up the studio.
Yeah, he's going to jail.
And then Nick shows back up again, and he's not all burnt up from the grenade anymore. And they get back in the van, and
they start bonking.
Bonking again, and it's literally bonking because the van's rocking and it's going doink, 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 doink. Like, it's making that sound effect, which probably is one of my favorite things in that whole movie, to be honest. Just very that sound effect, yeah. But yeah, it was the best part about this RiffTrax Live is not that it was Hobgoblins. It was the fact that it was RiffTrax Live.
Yeah,
and we were back in the theater, watching this really, on the big screen. It felt like coming home.
Life kind of maybe returning to normal, sort of.
If
we're all good.
Yeah.
Or else.
It's getting there, and hopefully it stays there. I mean, things are kind of looking a little iffy at the moment, but I mean, look. Rick made this movie on a $15,000 budget.
Really?
And
it was that much?
Yeah, like, I think if I only had $15,000 and I tried to make a movie, I can't say that it would turn out any better than this.
Yeah.
I mean, if I tried to make a movie in general, I don't think it would turn out any better than this.
I don't think this is the worst movie ever. I don't even think this is the worst movie that RiffTrax has done.
Oh, no.
But it's definitely seeing the like we were saying before, seeing the uncut version makes me see it completely differently.
Yes, I will agree with that 100%. Speaking of movies that are worse than this that RiffTrax has done.
Oh yes, we're gonna go headlong.
Yes, we're just gonna dive head first right into
Baby Ghost, Baby Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think I do the Baby Ghost song better than the Baby Ghost song people do.
Oh, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So longtime listeners of the True Blue RiffCast know that Baby Ghost is something me and Jeremy have been clamoring for.
Yes.
Based on three things. One, it's based on I think probably the most important thing is that it was made by the director of Roller Gator. So it's like Roller Gator adjacent. It's Roller Gator related.
Yes.
And that's very exciting to us.
And it also has Joe Estevez in it because
yes.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah. Two, there's the Baby Ghost song, obviously. And three, like the trailer is just like, oh, this thing looks so awful. They have to do it. And you think that Baby Ghost is going to be like a fun romp, like Roller Gator is. I don't want to say that I regret harping on RiffTrax to make them do this, but the movie was not what I was expecting.
No. This movie...
Like, it failed to reach my lofty expectations set by Roller Gator.
Yeah. And it came out... It was made in the same year as Roller Gator.
Oh, well, they used up all the... They used up their entire travel budget for Roller Gator.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah,
That's
this
not
movie...
a joke.
Okay, Joe Estevez plays a photographer, someone who takes like portraits of children, like they used to do at like Sears,
yeah,
and stuff like that, and in department stores back in the day. Matthew J Elliot says it feels
1995.
It feels at this point like RiffTrax is stalking Joe Estevez. How long till they tackle his 2015 masterpiece, Bikini Inception?
Oh no!
I don't know. I don't like the sound of that movie. But real quick, I'm going to point out there was one other, at least one other kids movie that Donald G. Jackson made in the same year, in 1995, called The Little Lost Sea Serpent.
RiffTrax, you can skip that one.
Well, if what I have heard is to believed, it might be getting pushed for by somebody internally.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to mention any names who might be pushing that thing, but his initials are Connor Lastoga.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. But yeah, Baby Ghost, let's see. Joe Estevez, he's a photographer. I already said that. It shows him struggling to take a picture of some kid with a rat tail, a bowl cut and a rat tail. And he's like,
it's the 90s.
Yeah. He's trying to get this kid to pay attention. I think he like tries to like dangle like some little kid's toy in front of him. But it's a major failure. And then a couple of the kids go wandering off through the building, have to elude this totally overzealous Paul Blart, who's chasing them through the building and like putting everybody in chokeholds whenever he like sees somebody.
Yeah,
and
well, he was in a Viet Cong prison camp for 3 years.
Yeah, so he's
So
got some
funny.
PTSD to deal with. Yeah, hilarious, perfect for a kids movie. So they end up wandering off, and they find this crappy wooden box that's chained up in some room on top of a barrel.
Okay, there are a few things I want to say about this box.
Yes.
Okay, one. Okay, let's talk about how it was found. It was chained up with a padlock on it. Okay,
Yeah.
with a modern padlock. Now, you could just slide the way it was done. You could have just slid the chain off, and it would have been fine. You wouldn't have had to unlock anything because it was just wrapped around it.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is this girl automatically thinks, okay, well, I'll try my mom's measurements. What? Number one, why is it that that's what immediately pops into this little girl's mind, my mom's measurements? And those measurements are ridiculous, by the way. They're just like not human. If I understand measurements the way I think I do, I don't know. But second,
It's chest, waist,
third,
and butt.
yeah. But the thing is that it worked. Like, oh, that's it. Like that is the weirdest coincidence.
And of course, all I ever think of when I hear measurements is baby got back. 36, 24, 36. Only if she's 5'3".
I'm gonna have to take your word on that. Wouldn't that be grotesque?
Maybe.
Okay, I don't know. Like I know very little about this.
I don't know what that actually. Yeah.
What that would look like.
I know what they're for, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah. But so anyway, so she unlocks it, and this box. She looks at it. It's very mysterious. It's this crappy wooden box that they got at the dollar store, and someone put, but it has the Eye of Horus on it. So as you don't know, the Eye of Horus is the Egyptian symbol representing the god Horus. So immediately you're thinking, I'm not an egghead, but immediately thinking oh, well, this has something to do with ancient Egypt. And the ancient Egyptians lived 5,000 years ago on another continent.
Yeah.
So you're kind of wondering how that's gonna fit into it, because the Eye of Horus is featured very prominently on that box. Okay, put a pin in that. Okay.
Yes, that is.
Remember that. Okay.
There is definitely some that has to some information we get later that has to do with that, and really confuses the issue even more, as if we would expect anything different from this. But Joe Estevez calls this psychic hotline,
and this is what the connection to Hobgoblins is.
And it's
an hour ago.
Yeah, it's not Miss Cleo's hotline or Dionne Warwick's hotline. This is some completely different charlatan that they call. And it's just some lady who puts on an accent, but for some reason she dresses up in full fortune teller garb in her office.
She goes to an office instead of it's not a home business. She goes to an office to do this because it's making that much money.
Yeah, it does get brought up later.
Office space, yeah.
It does get brought up later because she's in the same building.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when it's revealed that these people are in the same building, it's and they've never met, and Joe Estevez is way into tarot card reading. You think he would have noticed the fact that she dresses up like a tarot card reader?
You would think they would have passed each other somewhere in this building.
Yeah,
in
before
this
now.
Rundown, surely almost condemned office building that they were using. It doesn't look very active. There's not anybody in this office building unless they just filmed it, overnight one night, which wouldn't surprise me if they just did the whole thing overnight. But there's a couple thieves who break in.
Yeah.
And they're 100 times more inept than Harv and Marv from Home Alone, which actually gets mentioned in this as a joke that the baby ghost is Kevin McAllister from Home Alone because Harv and Marv came up and followed through in their promise of filling him full of tiny little holes.
Yeah.
But they're inept. The maintenance man at this office building is completely he's like the perfect stereotype of the old man maintenance worker. And
I would say
like,
perfect because it's very sloppy.
It's very sloppy, but all of the stuff that he does is callbacks to the old, what you would see from that type of a character in like old 50s and 60s comedies.
Yeah.
And he's very much trying to perform that. But the ghost gets out and it's just giggling and barely seen.
Okay. And the effect is awful. Okay, so Joe Estevez. Okay, all these dumbasses, they all get locked in the building. They'll get locked in the building overnight somehow. And Joe Estevez meets the fortune teller, and the fortune teller just flat out insults him. just flat out be like, this one loser who's probably the only thing keeping my business going, this effing loser calls me like 4 or 5 times a day, and like it doesn't even occur like hey, that I think that's me. I love fortune tellers.
I call a fortune teller 4 to 5 times a day.
Yeah, but it doesn't hit him that she just completely, she thinks he's an idiot, that he's a loser, that he needs to get out and live a better life than calling her all the time. It's like, number one, rude, number two, he's paying you money. What do you care?
Yeah. Matthew J says, surely the best way to insult him would be to point out that he's in the movie.
Well, she's in the movie too.
Yeah, so it would have been a very hollow insult at that point.
Yes, but so I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so they have to team up to fight the baby ghost, who's basically like, it's very bad, like Slimer effect.
Yes, and the puppet looks like they used because the original Slimer was modeled after Jim Belushi because he was going to be.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be.
Yeah, he was going to be in the movie, and then but the baby ghost looks like they tried to model it after John Belushi instead of Jim Belushi. It's bad. It's so bad. You can't even really, at least I can't really describe it because it's got like a Muppet style mouth, and then it does not look like a baby. No, it doesn't look like a human, like at all. It looks like a dead bird. Like it looks like it's a monster. It's a monster ghost. It is. Yes, it is a monster ghost. It's a monster ghost with like a how you get those sound effects on your Casio keyboard, and one of them is like a baby, and like you just hit that. You just hit C sharp over and over. That was our effects budget. This movie seems to exist just to point out the fact that all of the characters are bad at using doors. Like, nobody can get any doors open. The maintenance guy gets stuck in the elevator because he can't get the doors open. But the old man and the security guard decide that it's an alien, and they're going to try and catch it to make money. And Estevez and the fortune teller realize that it's a ghost, and Estevez says, "Oh, it's like a baby ghost," and so he just calls it baby ghost the rest of the movie. And they are actually trying to figure out how to recapture the ghost and lock it back away in this mystical box that it's locked in. And they find some information that that this ghost is from a kid who was seemingly put to death in 1635 for mischief and tomfoolery.
Excuse me, not seemingly. This child was executed. This child was executed for mischief and tomfoolery.
Like,
it was a baby.
Like it was like Dennis the Menace in 1635.
Only it was a baby.
Yeah, a little bit younger, probably, because it's small. And like, how would you like execute a baby in 1635?
Was it a witch baby?
Mischief and tomfoolery.
That could like at least kind of track, but like you execute a baby for mischief and tomfoolery, and then like what kind of monsters are you? You know?
We're gonna kill this kid, and then we're going to lock it in a box.
We're gonna lock its ghost in a box. Okay, now unpin. This is where we take the pin out. This baby was executed. Let's call it like it is. This baby was murdered by adults, more than likely. Did it ever say what state this in? Was this in Massachusetts? They try to how old is this building?
If it was in 1635, I mean, there's very limited areas that it could have been. Probably Boston. I mean, okay, the first. I just looked this up. In April of 1635, the first public school opened in Boston, Massachusetts.
So okay. So let's go ahead and give the filmmakers way too much credit.
Because it's probably just a coincidence.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and give them way too much credit and say that, this definitely is set in Massachusetts. Because don't the robbers have New York accents? I don't know.
I think so. They have some sort of accent. Who knows? With these movies, you can never tell. Yeah. But let's say that school punishments used to be way more severe.
Yeah.
And that's why the kid was killed.
It's a capital punishment. Mischief and tomfoolery is
Matthew J. Elliot just said, when you are Googling where would be the best place to execute a baby in the 17th century, something has gone way wrong with your life.
Well, I mean, that's.
I literally just typed in America 1965, and the first thing that came up was the first public school.
And so you Googled where to execute a child in the 17th century, and it came up a school.
Yes.
Okay. So this tracks. So anyway, and I'm continue pulling the pin out. So
yes,
it's Massachusetts, 1835.
1635.
1635. Okay, 1635. So they execute this child, and they put its ghost somehow into a box that has the Eye of Horus on it.
Now, see, there's a lot of problems with that because I didn't think about that until just now. But if this is in America in the 17th, America in the 17th century, I obviously can't say United States because that's way after this. But they never would have done that because that would have been dark arts, sorcery, witchcraft type stuff.
Yeah. But also, it's Egypt.
They never would have done that. Yeah, it's an Egyptian thing. But still, whoever did that then would be executed for witchcraft.
Maybe it was the witches who did it. Okay, we're okay.
We're getting way off track here.
None of this is covered in the movie. We're applying things that Donald G. whatever his name is, Mr. Roller Gator, didn't even think about. Okay.
No,
so,
we always do this, though. We project things into these movies because we have to try and make them make sense when we're discussing them.
Yeah, anyway, but just like the Egypt thing, it really bugs me that I felt like I was, I was lied to. I felt like, I take it very personally for some reason.
If that's the thing that upset you the most about Baby Ghost, then you might be okay.
Okay. But anyway, so eventually they recapture Baby Ghost. and Joe Estevez asks fortune teller lady out on a date. And then it's like Baby Ghost 2 sequel. They did that in Rollergator too.
Yeah. And thankfully,
okay, so yeah, there was no Rollergator 2, and there was no Baby Ghost 2. So I think, like, when I think about Baby Ghost, I don't really think about the Baby Ghost effect or the Baby Ghost song. I think about how massively ugly the movie is, because it's shot entirely in this building. Like, they literally don't leave the building
until the very
they don't
very
go
end.
Outside. Yeah,
and that's only for like a minute.
It makes Rollergator look like this epic quest to Mordor, and it's like it makes Rollergator look like Lord of the Rings. I'm not kidding. It sounds like a joke, but like it makes Rollergator look like an epic, because in Rollergator they went outside. They went to different locations. They had beach ninjas. They went on a journey to return Rollergator to the swamp farmer. You know?
Yeah.
So, but here it's just like, oh, we're just gonna be in this office building for an hour and a half. I mean, it wasn't even that long, but it felt like this movie was also a slog.
Yes.
So,
this movie was a huge slog. If you excuse me for a second, I have to put on.
Uh-oh.
Somebody redeemed a thing in my Twitch, so I got to put on my Batman mask. Hang on.
What?
This is gonna make wearing these headphones
tell me about
extremely
these things,
difficult. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put this on over my headphones. This is as good as it's gonna get, guys. Okay, continue. Continuing with Baby Ghost.
No, I'm just saying that, like, Rollergator is essentially Lord of the Rings compared to Baby Ghost. Like, you know, I know that sounds like a joke.
Matthew J says, Swamp Farmer, I think you'll find his name was Beauregard.
That's right. What? I got a story to tell about that. That's a great joke. That's a great reference, Matthew J. There was around the time Rollergator came out 6 years ago, Michael J. Nelson was still on Twitter. And I had recently spoken with Michael J. Nelson over the phone for the RiffWiki 1 year anniversary. So I was, we were following each other on Twitter, and he said something. He referenced Beauregard in a tweet. He referenced like that line. He said, "Yeah, it'd be like, or Beauregard, as he knows to his friends." And I tweeted back at him. I was like, Mike, of course the swamp farmer's name is Beauregard. What'd you think it was? Shelley Hack? And
nice throwback.
That of course is a reference to The Last Slumber Party, another one of mine and Jeremy's favorite RiffTrax, and that got a like and retweet from Michael J. Nelson.
Nice.
So I felt very proud of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now Mike Nelson is not on any social media at all.
That's because he's smarter than us.
He's a very, very smart man.
Yes. Wouldn't we be the lucky ones? Yes, Matthew, we would be the lucky ones. Yeah, Baby Ghost is pretty bad. Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I got a question for you here. Something we like to ask each other when we're discussing these RiffTrax movies. Dave, would you watch Baby Ghost on Rift?
I don't think I would. I think I would get like 5 minutes in and nope out. Even though like I've been all about Baby Ghost, and like this kind of like brings us back around to the beginning of the discussion when I said I don't regret getting on them to do Baby Ghost for so long, but like now that it's here, it's just like, oh, maybe there was a reason they didn't do it for so long. I mean, it's I mean, like, it's an excellent riff. I mean, we all love pancakes. If you're a listener to the podcast, that means we're not criticizing RiffTrax, because the riff's outstanding. Get it, buy it, $9.99. at RiffTrax.com probably. But man, what it's not Roller Gator.
Yeah, it's bad when a movie doesn't even reach the level of Roller Gator. Like,
it does not reach the level of Roller Gator. Like it is. Yeah. So, but like my takeaway from it, yeah, I would not watch this movie on Rift. Jeremy Pluta.
yes, sir.
Would you watch Baby Ghost on Rift? I think you would, but I could be wrong.
I might have before the Rift was released, out of curiosity to finally see it. But after watching it with the Rifts, no, I would not watch this movie on Rift. There's no way.
Yeah, it's like it's not like, guys, it's not like me and Jeremy did not look for this movie. All we could find was the trailer, and the trailer just makes it look like a romping fun time, like trailers are supposed to do. This trailer did its job. Unfortunately, the movie did not.
Yeah, no, the only way that we would have been able to watch this movie beforehand would have been to buy the DVD off of Amazon for like $25.
I'm not doing that.
And I was
not worth $25.
I was tempted to, because I really wanted to watch it. And I'm glad that I didn't. I am so glad that I didn't, because that would have been a horrible expenditure on my part for that, because there's no way that would have been a good purchase. Like,
sorry.
Unlike
that was. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Probably.
Yes, we could. But unlike the 4 copies of Haunted Ween that I purchased on DVD for the full price to send out to a few certain people, like a certain Mr. Dave Chadwick.
Yes.
That I feel good about. I feel good about supporting it. Yes, we're actually going to be talking about that soon, because we've talked about Haunted Ween before multiple times. It's been brought up on this podcast, but the anniversary of the film is coming up. The 30-year anniversary of the release of this film is this year, and I don't have an exact date for when it came out. I don't know if we mentioned it before, but sadly earlier this year the director passed. And
yeah, that kind of sucks.
And I was talking to his girlfriend. She's the one who runs the Facebook group and everything. She handles the selling of the DVDs and everything like that. And we had a nice long conversation about the movie and how he would have loved to see this movie end up on something like RiffTrax. It would have totally been great for him. And so we're kind of Dave and I, at least me, and trying to see if maybe we can make that happen. I did forward a copy of the DVD to our friend Eric at RiffTrax, and he said that after he watches it, he's going to pass it along. And we'll see. We'll see if it happens. Who knows? Yeah. But
I mean, I don't really bug RiffTrax a lot. I mean, other than joking around on this podcast to do movies. I kind of like movies that I want to see, because I've seen how obnoxious people can get. So I just kind of like to sit back and let RiffTrax kind of do their thing. And I have said on this podcast that I would like to see more MP3s. I didn't used to be that, but now I'm just kind of we've seen a lot of these.
Yeah,
kind of like.
But that's just kind of generalized, and that's fine. Yep. And I haven't been bugging him. I've been bugging anybody about this one.
I wasn't accusing you of anything.
It's not like Light Blast. But
Light Blast, where we complete. Yeah, where yeah.
But
people who've listened to this podcast know about our history with Light Blast.
Yeah. I had a long discussion with her, and we were trying to figure out when the movie was actually released, and I couldn't find anything specific, but I narrowed it down to September or early October. So in probably in about a month and a half, we're going to be doing a special episode with Dave and myself, and hopefully 2 other guests that have watched the movie, and we're just going to have a discussion about the movie itself, because this was an independent film, and it was one of those ones where it was bad, but you can tell that most of the people were actually trying, and to me, that's what makes a bad movie entertaining.
Redeemable, yeah.
Yeah, when it's got that heart behind it, it's got a character to it, and this is one that I think, even if it doesn't end up on RiffTrax, I think that the word for this movie needs to be spread, and more people need to be introduced to this film. It's even if it's just kind of like as a preservation thing. I don't know. I'm strangely invested in this movie.
Yeah,
and I don't understand why.
I agree with you on that. Yeah,
I just it should have a big cult following.
It sort of does. It does. It's not big, but it definitely does have a following.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. It gives me an excuse to watch the movie again because they took it down off YouTube.
But it's been it's been 30 years since this movie came out, so I'd like to do a special episode on it, and hopefully we'll get a couple of people. I know one person in particular that's going to be a part of it, because he has watched the movie. It's actually somebody else that I sent the DVD to. And
do I know this person?
Yes, you should at least somewhat know this person.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you about it later,
Okay.
after we're done with everything. But yeah, I don't have a Patreon to plug, so that's kind of weird.
Well, I will plug something. Guess what, everybody? The novel that I wrote, Monkey, about a wish-granting, chain-smoking monkey, you can get it right now on Amazon, the Kindle version, for 99 cents. I'm going to leave it at 99 cents. The original plan was that to make it accessible, to have people take a chance on the book Monkey by Dave Chadwick, to have it be a special sale through August. But I'm going to leave it at 99 cents for a minute because, number one, I need to raise digital sales. Physical sales have done fantastic. It's
awesome. That's great to hear.
But Kindle sales on Amazon, not that great. And since that's where the future is, I'm going to leave it up there for on my Twitter I said until it reaches bestseller status. But I might pretend like I never said that. But right now, it is for everybody who's listening to the True Blue RiffCast, go to Amazon. Please buy my book and give me a cool, verified review. And I have 30 paperback copies of Monkey coming to me. And I'm not above trading autographed copies for verified reviews. Just putting that out there. Just putting it out there.
Here, let me grab a short link here. And paste.
I'm outside in the boonies. I can't.
There you go.
Phone to my ear. I can't do anything.
So
I appreciate you, Jeremy.
There's a link in the chat right now for you guys. If you want to go spend 99 cents and help Dave out. Yes, Matthew J. You know what? Go ahead. If you want to plug your comedy audio series, Murder and the Murdochs, go ahead. Post a link. Drop a link to it. You're a good friend
Matthew
for us.
J.
Go
Elliot.
ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Do that, Matthew J. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah. For now, I think that's going to wrap things up for the podcast. Make sure you stay tuned. Once we're done playing our ending song here, I am going. Oh, you can't post links. I'm gonna have to fix that for you. Matthew, maybe send me a link in Messenger, Matthew, and I will post it. But we're gonna wrap up the podcast now. Make sure you stay tuned to the stream because I'm going to be working on something else RiffTrax related, and I could use some input from some people, especially Matthew J. I think you would be amazing at helping me come up with ideas for this. But I'm currently working on a custom Quiplash 3 game based on RiffTrax. All the prompts are going to be RiffTrax, and I am less than half of the way through the maximum amount of prompts that I can have. So I'm going to work on that. I want to get that done. I know the RiffTrax guys play Jackbox games at their RiffTrax house when they're doing the live shows. So I'm going to send it to them, and hopefully they'll have fun playing it. And then, of course, we'll play it with the RiffTrax community at a future date, as soon as it's done. But I am Jeremy. Of course, you can find me at pbandawesome.com, at pbandawesome on Twitter and YouTube. And, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffCast.
And I'm Dave Chadwick. You can check me out on my website, which is davechadwick.info. And my Twitter handle is, it used to be Sugar Ray Dodge for a very long time, but since I'm doing my rebranding, I want to be taken seriously. Me. My Twitter handle, same account, but it's at dchadwickauthor.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the podcast for this week, folks. We'll see you next time, Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the True Blue RiffCast. And, of course, I don't have the end song queued up because I... Give me a second. Let's see. There you go.
Let's vamp.
Rock Till You Die.
Movies. Okay, no. Okay. Rock Till You Die.